Greetings, and good evening, and welcome to another fire episode of the RoundTable. Today is Tuesday, September the 26th, 2023. Buenos welcome, my name is Drew, and I am here to tell you, ladies and gentlemen, that week 3 of the NFL gave us a whole lot of, you thought you knew what you're going to get, but you actually did not. That's why they played a game. And I am so looking forward to tonight's dialogue and the breakdown of how and what happened to a lot of these teams who had these huge aspirations coming into the season, but have been slapped with a whole bunch of reality just 3 weeks in. And I am so looking forward to tonight's discussion. Brother Griff, how we doing tonight, brother?
Hey, man. Hey, I'm good, man. Look, you know, I was hurt this weekend, but then I went to see Beyonce, man. She made it all better.
I hear you, man. I hear you. That must have been an awesome sight, awesome event.
Oh,
that was,
I need
the finale of the world tour. Was it not down there in H-Town?
I really don't know, man. She had 2 shows down here, but hey, man, let's go. Let me go and get this pain out the way now, man. Let's go and talk football. We can talk Beyonce on the side.
We can do that. We can do that. Now, We've referred to football being a game of inches. It's decided in the game of inches, and all of those opportunities present themselves throughout the game, regardless of what the score is and regardless of how the pace of the game is going, right? And we brought up this movie Any Given Sunday at almost every episode thus far throughout the season. And if this was not an example of any given Sunday, anything can happen in the National Football League, then guess what, ladies and gentlemen? This past Sunday, we had a whole lot of touchdowns being put up in a short amount of time, and a whole lot of Super Bowl contending teams get slapped around by what people consider college teams. We got a lot to talk about, Griff. But before we go into all of that, right? We like to reflect, because when we get taught something, we like to go back and review the answers that we gave when we were quizzed on it. So, you know, this past week, we had a little deviation in our analysis, right, on how we were going to break these games down going forward, and taking a leap of faith like you were exiting a AC-130 or a C-5 or a Chinook or whatever type of aircraft that you willingly are going to exit out of while that aircraft is in flight. You decided to go left when I told you, Griff, you should be going right. When you make your selection, he's like, nah, man, I'm from Alabama. We roll time. I turn out for you, man.
Hey, man, that's why I'm a leg. That's why I'm a leg. I don't jump out plays, bro. I leave that for y'all. I'm a dirty leg, man. But yeah, man, I went off the reservation a little bit last week. You know, but even with that, man, like you said, any given Sunday, bro, it's a reason why the games are to be played. If we just went strictly off of what the stats and what everything said, then there's no need to play the game. And you know, this past Sunday, as you said, was definitely an Any Given Sunday. And so let's get into it, Drew.
Yes, sir. Let us begin with what is on everybody's mind. What is happening down there in Big Dallas? The Big D, right? Jerry's World, America's so-called team, when that star is shining, but not so much when the star is dull. And today, that star is just a little duller than what we thought it was going to be going into the 2023 season. What happened on Sunday, Griff?
Hey, man, we lost, man. And here's the thing. That star still going to shine because we lost.
We all know that.
We lost. Bottom line up front. I think a lot of times, everybody else had already ordained us as the Super Bowl champions, but it's still week 3, bro. It's still week 3. And here's the thing, not making no excuses. I don't want to make no excuses, but I know this. I had 3 offensive linemen not starting. That affected the game. Now, I thought Trayvon did, not Trayvon, but yeah, Trayvon not being there wasn't going to be a big factor, man. But man, bro, you can tell there was a lot of miscommunication on the defensive side of the ball, man. People were just running around freely. And I'm sure that we're going to go back to the tape. Dan Quinn going to go back, look at that tape. And the defense is going to adjust. My biggest thing now, man, is the offense. And us, we can move the ball, we can get down inside the red zone, but we can't score. And that is going to be our Achilles heel. If we don't figure that thing out, that's going to be the problem for the Cowboys. We still good. I still think by far we still got the best defense in the game. And I still think that the offense can improve. It's just the offensive play caller for me. Everybody blaming on Dak, but Dak went on the defensive side of the ball when them 28 points was on put up on us. And Dak went over there when all these people were just running around on the field. I like to give credit where credit is due. Everybody look at the quarterback, but there's a whole bunch of other quarterbacks that do the same thing as Dak. But because Dak wears a star on his helmet, he get more attention than other people. So that's me. I mean, we lost the game this weekend, bro, but it ain't the end. The sky ain't falling out for me.
Right. And I wasn't actually going to do any discussions on Dallas, but based off of what you said, I got to do a couple of points. One, you are correct. It's just an L, right? It's going to happen. It's not the end of the world. 2, you said Dak wasn't playing defense and allowed those 28 points to be put on the board, right? But Dallas had 5 scoring opportunities. 4 of them were inside the red zone. You came away with 1 touchdown, 1, 2, 3 field goals, and an INT.
Okay.
When there was triple coverage, where we don't expect a 8 or 9-year veteran to be making those type of mistakes when we know we are in score now mode. The game is on the line. Now, that's the only hang up I have about Dak and his play and that play. His play throughout the game and that specific play where he threw that interception into the triple coverage. But I want to actually talk about the Arizona Cardinals. Joshua Dobbs, his track into the NFL was unsigned. He was undrafted, called up by the Tennessee Titans because he was from Tennessee, played his college ball at Tennessee, and he was a known commodity and was going to be the backup quarterback. Bro, that says a lot about your defense that you allowed a unproven NFL rookie steal to rip apart your defense. It speaks more to the lack of tackling, like you mentioned, and the lack of cohesiveness in the defensive backfield based off of Trayvon's injury. Dan Quinn is going to fix it. Got it. Everybody has that one game that like, oh, can't explain it. It happens, right? But don't go into New England this week and come out 2-2. So
man. That ain't happening, man. That ain't happening. Look, man, Troy on here, I can't wait till we get to the Raiders, man. Troy on here already talking about we got beat by a gas attendant and a church usher.
Hey, you know what? Troy, I know Troy was joking when he originally picked Arizona over Dallas because he ultimately gave his final pick at the end of the night and switched it up some way, somehow. But your original thought was right? Any given Sunday, that's all I'm gonna say, man. Any given Sunday, that it happens.
All right.
It just so happened that on this particular Sunday, every game that you thought was going to win or a team was going to win actually lost, right? And the next one was kind of personal to me. I took it a little bit personal when we have such a stout defense that the Saints just completely collapsed in the fourth quarter and gave this game away to a still, in my opinion, an unproven quarterback in Love. So in his home opener as the starter. I got some comments that I'm going to save for a little later about these Saints, but I want to give you the opportunity to kind of break this game down first.
Yeah, man. I mean, I had already really turned away from that game, man, because I knew the Saints had won it. But then I see Carr got hurt. And again, he the quarterback. that can definitely change the momentum in the game. You see your captain, your general get hurt. But I still felt like the Saints had a much better defense that they can still, control the game. And they did it all the way up until the end. And all of a sudden, they just let Love pull an Aaron Rodgers on them, I guess, for lack of better terms. And, I have to truly blame that on coaching, man. I'm sorry, man. I know people going to like, well, Winston is out there, whatever. Winston wasn't planning on playing yesterday. No backup in the league ever planning on playing. Except for Tom Brady. That's it. All these other jokers don't come in there ready. I don't care what nobody say, because most of them come in and they don't seize their opportunity when they get it. So, man, I was let down. That was one of the teams I took an L on, because I did pick the Saints in this game, man. But I'm going to turn it over to you, man, because I talked about my Cowboy. I'm going to let you talk about your Saints.
Yeah. So much to say, so little time to say it. What I will say that your last point about the coaching being the problem, it was the coaching. This was not on the Saints defense collapsing in the fourth quarter. It was not on Jameis Winston being ineffective in the fourth quarter. He was as efficient as expected based on the play calling. Pete Carmichael, who is the offensive coordinator, who has not done anything to show that he earned that title since Sean Payton's departure, continues to run these whack plays at the most opportune time. And having a defensive-minded head coach in Dennis Allen, who completely does not know how to manage a game. He is worse than Mike McCarthy down there in Dallas as it pertains to game management and personnel management, who is supposed to be a defensive guru of some sorts, mismanaged how the Saints played Love and the Packer offense in the fourth quarter by playing too soft and stop being aggressive as you should be, as you had been the entire game, and had them shut out. This was all on the coaching. No player on the field, other than, a false start at the very end of the game, should be held accountable other than making mental mistakes. This was all on the coaching. Complete autonomy belongs on them. But of course, the team is going to say,
the coaches they'll never hit the coaches up, man. It's always going to be on a player, because the players make all this money and stuff like that. But I could wait till we get to that Minnesota game and tell me that one coaching. Tell me that.
Staley got something on somebody, is all I'm saying.
Man, so wait till we get to that game right there, man. Shucks. But coaching, bro.
I look for my Saints to continue to improve, man, and make incremental improvements with Jameis Winston going forward as the starting quarterback while Derek Carr heals over the next couple of weeks. So I still look for the Saints to be competitive, not only competitive, be proficient on offense and have that dominance on defense. That remember, is tenacious.
Jordan froze up. Hey, look, hey, right fast team.
What is the next big game?
Hey, Drew, before we move on to the next one, I just want to let everybody know, hey, make sure that y'all share this page right now on your page, on your timeline, so that people can jump on and get their comments, man. We truly appreciate it. Either they can go on YouTube and look for the RoundTable podcast, or they can go to the RoundTable podcast page. But please share from your comment area as well. Go ahead to the next one, Drew.
Yes, sir. And thank you for that plug. And obviously, I echo your comments. The next big game that broke a lot of NFL records, where a coach came in with his whole chest out, saying that everything is going to change because there is a new sheriff in town. And with that new sheriff in town, I'm bringing my own luggage. Well, you brought your own luggage, sir. And apparently your luggage got abused when it went through the TSA checking at the airport, because it is completely broken. Your wheels are falling apart. And I'm talking about Sean Payton, right? And the Denver Broncos defense, who are literally, and I do mean literally, 32nd out of 32nd in almost every statistical category as it pertains to defense. They are atrocious. You remember in the offseason when Rex Ryan was interviewing for the defensive coordinator job, And Sean Payton was like, I think you're maybe a little bit too old school. I'm going to go with somebody younger and fresher. Well, guess what? Man, it is not working out for y'all. I'm just going to let you talk about the 305 since I already said the 305 was the number one offense after looking at them for just one half. When they played the Chargers in the season opener, I said, man, this is the best offense in the NFL. Look at all this speed. Can't nobody stop it. They just got to stay healthy. And, bro,
you definitely won't get no argument from me on that one, man. As long as Tua is healthy, if Tua stay healthy, look, they didn't even have Waddle this weekend. They didn't have, matter of fact, they didn't have Waddle this weekend, and they killed them with the running game. The running backs had 4 touchdowns by themselves, and then the second and third string came in there and put, I think, another about 14 to 21 points up, man. When the game, it was just complete utter embarrassment, man. The crazy part about it is, most of the Miami fans, they all on the bandwagon. That's why I say when you up, everybody gonna be on your side. But when you down, they gonna chop you. This time last year, they was chopping Tua up, and I told them, man, I said, y'all got one of the best quarterbacks in the game right now. And I mean, from the minute he came into the league, they had training wheels on him when he first came in the league. But when you're talking about a joker that can put the ball where it need to be, and we seen it in the national championship game. Tua don't even have to look. When he look, you already got. And with having Tariq Hill and then Water come back being healthy and the running game, I think Miami's Achilles heel, though, honestly, it might be their defense. That's gonna be the deciding factor. What happens when, as they say, they can't play complimentary ball and they can't get all these points they've been getting? What happens then? That's gonna be the deciding factor. But hands down, best offense in the league. Ain't nobody can touch them cats right now.
No, you're absolutely correct, man. And just to back up further your argument, or I won't even say argument, but evidence that Tua is that guy this year is his pinpoint accuracy. High percentage rate of completion and puts the zip that you need on the ball and the foresight, right? Which is what you expect as it pertains to progression and being able to see a receiver open, putting it where even when you don't believe that the receiver is going to get it, the receiver gets it, and then the show is on. So yeah, Tua is that guy this year as long as he stays healthy. Now, you said that the Miami fans were jumping on him last year. You remember Miami started off 3-0 last year, and then the wheels started to come off, and then Tua got hurt, and the back and forth with the concussions, and then the influx of quarterbacks kind of derailed their season. But they still made it to the playoffs. They still made it to the playoffs and still put up 31 points in Buffalo, which guess where they're going this weekend? In Buffalo with a third-string quarterback. So the offense from Mike McDaniel has proven itself to be legit and is if that nucleus of speed stays healthy, which is virtually impossible, but you pray for it, they're gonna break some records a lot. Now that defense is good enough to keep their opponents down to 24-ish. As long as that offense is able to put up, 25 and above, which it looks like that won't be a problem. So Miami, get ready to be the greatest show, not on turf, but out the 305 and on grass. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, man.
Yeah. Now, my favorite game, everybody's favorite quarterback. Favorite pair of quarterbacks, actually, to talk about, to kind of prove or disprove how good or how not good certain people and certain teams are. Like I said on Friday, zero confidence in the Chargers, but I picked them because I knew it was going to be this type of game. Man, did you have an opportunity to sit down and go back and review how this game was played, the coaching decisions that were made by certain coaches, and how Kirk Cousins was Kirk Cousining? Justin Jefferson was doing Justin Jefferson type of stuff. Man, the floor is yours. What do you think?
Nah, man, I'm telling you, bro. I just knew that after this game that the Chargers coach was getting ready to get fired. I'm just telling you right now, because the Vikings, they should have won this game, bro. Hands down. Jefferson, hey, all you can do is hope to try to contain that Joker, but you can't stop it, man. That Joker is a daggone beast. But that daggone, when they got down there on that last drive, man, and they went for it on fourth down, you either spike the ball or should have already had a play. You should have already assumed that you was gonna get that first down, knowing the clock is short, and you can sit up there and see he trying to get a play from inside his helmet, man. And for me, that's coaching, bro. Because before we would have went out there, look, hey, we get it, we spike, we gonna run up to the line, we spiking the ball, or we already got a play ready to go before the time run out, man. And so I just knew the Chargers coach was getting ready to get fired. Go ahead, Drew.
No. You. Yeah. Are we talking? First, I want to acknowledge the record that Keenan Allen broke with his longevity in the NFL. I'm not sure about the specifics, but I know that he broke a couple of records for the Chargers as an organization and put him in esteemed company in a receiving fraternity. So congratulations to him personally. The Chargers are still the Chargers to me. They are a mirror effect of the Vikings. They are their own worst enemy. And eventually that is what is going to cause them to be an early exit out of the playoffs, because these teams are talented, man. These teams are talented, but they make bonehead plays at key times of the game that literally does give the game away on certain Sundays. And this was one of those games for the Minnesota Vikings. Home opener, you had everything being handed to you on a silver platter, and you gave it away. Staley and his job security in Los Angeles, that one right there, it is a head scratcher, and it has been a head scratcher ever since he blew that 27-0 lead in the playoffs of the Jacksonville Jaguars last year. Why he still got a job as a head coach, nobody knows, but they riding with him, and it's going to cost them in the long run. Like Stephen A. Smith likes to say about the Dallas Cowboys, just wait, something's going to happen. They're going to do it to themselves. The Chargers do it to themselves every single year. It just doesn't go noticed because the spotlight is not on him. But as long as that head coach is still there, it's not going to be a team that you can depend on to make the playoffs consistently and compete with Kansas City to beat be the divisional champs in the AFC West and be a real Super Bowl contender.
Man, I'm just sitting up here. Troy, know he had me laughing, man. Troy said the Raiders could beat them. The Raiders could beat everybody. Let Troy tell it.
Man, hey, this was another head scratcher. How with a backup quarterback with Gardner Minshew.
I ain't see this coming.
I did not see this. They went into M&T Bank Stadium in Baltimore, into Lamar's backyard, and did this to Lamar, who is now supposed to be the king of the North. He got slapped around by the coach, who I don't know why they're in the South, but they are in the South. Man, what happened?
Man, can I say again, coaching? Don't get me started, man. They always put everything on these players, man. But the coaches don't never get, they don't never get their head bust, man, for some of the bonehead stuff that they do, man. This one right here, I'm like sitting up. I said, this was a no-brainer right here. Richardson not playing. Man, I don't even be saying the dude name right, but they quarterback, Manchu or whatever his name is. And I said, you know what? I said, look, Lamar got he got his tight end back at Andrews. He got Zay Flowers over there. But again, LBJ was not there. Odell Beckham went there. Odell Beckham Jr. went there. And but they still look good, man. But I just don't. This is when they got an issue. When Justin Tucker missed a field goal, we got a problem. when he missed something, Houston, we got a problem.
But it was a 61-yarder. I mean, and it was right down the middle, literally.
Man, I thought it was made. I thought it was made, bro. Honestly, it didn't look. I thought the head went through the uprights, man. But then I guess it came up a little bit short. But still, that Joker don't miss nothing. And he didn't kick farther than that before.
Fred, why do you think I'm gonna slide in a Cowboys reference in? I'm not the Cowboys person on this panel. I don't talk about the Cowboys unless I absolutely have to. You got me confused.
He helped you do it. The fact that you talking about it right now, you just did what he asked you to do.
He said you playing mind games on me. He playing mind games. No, man, but this was a game that you would have expected Lamar and the Baltimore Ravens running game to shine, because Indianapolis is still a team that is trying to find themselves, even with the young Richardson as the starting quarterback, and you have this vision, right? The coach is still a young coach. So this was a head scratcher, man. Your man's, bro, as they say, your man's and them got out coached.
But you know what? This all leads back to what you was talking about earlier before we came on, and that is it's still early. It's just week 3. A lot of these teams still, again, a lot of these they still trying to figure each other out. Most of these guys didn't play in the preseason, and so they still trying to get. So if you're gonna do it, this is the best time to do it. Week 3, early in the season, because again, I think Miles said it earlier. Ain't nobody went undefeated but the Miami Dolphins, the 72 Dolphins. That's it. So you can forget that bull crap. One almost did. Tom Brady almost did it, then lost to them old sorry Giants in the Super Bowl. But so if you're gonna take an L, take it early, help you to figure some things out. And this was definitely a game that I wasn't worried because everybody picked the Ravens, so it kind of looked like in my picks thing, we was all still good, no harm, no foul, because then nobody, and I mean nobody, even Colts fans didn't pick the Colts.
Yeah, no, what this is the cherry on top of September 2023 NCAA and NFL football of shockers who you usually think is just going to steamroll early on. No, you have parity in NCAA because of the transfer portal, and you have parity in the NFL because nobody wants to play in the preseason anymore. Nobody cares about the preseason except for those who are literally trying to make a team. Yeah. If you are a second, definitely a third or fourth year starter, no, they're not playing in the preseason. And this is still the preseason, as you mentioned, for a lot of these teams. So an early loss is something of an opportunity to learn, because if you're going to lose to a team that not you thought you were going to lose to someone you thought that this was going to be a cakewalk, and they literally beat us into submission because we took them for granted.
Yeah.
And you have to remember that all of these are professionals. They all get paid to do a job, and some of them actually show up on these days and take advantage of that opportunity. Others don't, like your Cowboys. There you go, Fred. There's my Cowboys plug.
You're joking. Hey, man. Hey, let's go on to the next topic, man. It's some bull crap, man.
Man, another shocker. I mean, and what we just said about Baltimore and the Indianapolis Colts, we could definitely say about the Jacksonville Jaguars and the Houston Texans, because right there, your home team, man. This, if you as the home team putting, if I would bet, put 120 pennies on the Jacksonville Jaguars, I wouldn't be mad at you because you know your team better than anybody else. You have a rookie head coach, you have a rookie quarterback, you have a rookie this, a rookie that. And on the other side, you have who is predicted to be the AFC South champs and dominate the division. Didn't they go into Jacksonville and do this?
Yeah, bro. I again did not see this coming because I done sat and I done watched the Titans play, bro. I'm right here in Houston. I'm watching these guys, man. I say it ain't a chance that they gonna go down to Jacksonville and do what they did. And let me tell you something, man. I was shocked. It was the offensive side of the ball that I was truly shocked with when it came to Jacksonville. I mean, granted, the Texans put up 37 points, man, but it was no production over on the offensive side of the ball. You know, I thought, you know, they had Calvin Ridley and some of those guys, and it was going to be an easy one because the Texans, man, they're in that rebuild phase. They got the new head coach, they got the rookie quarterback. But man, Stroud looked like the guy that's been playing longer than Lawrence have, man. And I knew it. I'm gonna tell you why they lost, Drew. I sat Joe Burrows and I played Trevor Lawrence in my fantasy football, and I knew it. It's my fault.
See, that's what you get. And his name is Joe Burrow. Stop adding the S. It's Joe Burrow.
Okay, Joe Burrow.
You're absolutely correct, man. The Jacksonville Jaguars did mail it in. This, like every other game that we've talked about that has been a shocker any given Sunday. This was just another illustration of a 1 or a 2 win team taking down what has everybody believing to be a powerhouse in the AFC South this year. So early season loss. We're still working out some kinks. It doesn't say anything about Jacksonville, in my opinion, as it pertains to whether or not is Jacksonville for real. They are for real. This was a one-off for them, but it does help the Houston Texans. That's what it does.
It definitely
more credibility. It does give him some credibility as a head coach. It does give CJ Stroud some confidence.
Some confidence. Yeah.
Yes, sir. So
I like that.
It's gonna work out for both. Yeah, you know, another one, man. And we can pass this one, Jordan. I want to bring up this game though. The Jets versus the Patriots. The result is not a surprise. I'm not surprised. You knew this was going to be a hard-fought AFC East type of game. It was going to be defensive-minded because both are defensive-minded teams. You knew that the scoring was going to be somewhat limited simply because of the coaching philosophy, and we're going to manage the clock. The reason I want to talk about this game is what are the Jets going to do at quarterback? We talked about this several shows ago, but Zach Wilson, and you said early in the show, and I specifically waited until now. You said no backup quarterback wakes up Sunday morning thinking he's going to play. Bruh, I beg to differ because every Sunday morning, that backup quarterback, whoever he is for the Jets, Jets, knows that, man. I hope I don't have to play today, but I might have to.
Mm-hmm. Well, hey, so I like you going back and rolling the clock back. This particular quarterback right here is not the back. He ain't considered to be the backup no more. And I know what you're talking about, the backup to him and when they gonna play, because the frustration is definitely starting to be seen on that sideline. You seen Garrett Wilson go over there and really want to, pump, because the defense, man, the Jets by far got one of the best defenses in the game, bro. But the defense even get frustrated after a while, man. And but the coach, he say, hey, this is our quarterback. But they did go sign Trevor Siemian to their practice squad. But I don't know. I don't know if that's any better because he don't have a great track record either. But Zach Wilson, man, is not that guy. But and you know what the sad part about it is? He's one of those guys that's still gonna always have a job in the league. He gonna become that backup guy that go everywhere when there's other people out there that should be playing, but nobody want to scoop them up. And I'll leave it at that.
No, you're absolutely right. And I'm gonna pick up where hey, give me that baton, right? When you talk about Zach Wilson's future, right? Because Coach Saleh is sticking with Zach Wilson because that's a Johnson & Johnson decision. That is a ownership decision. We drafted this guy number 2. We are going to make sure this guy has an opportunity to prove himself. Got it. We went and spent the farm for Aaron Rodgers as it pertains to draft picks and everything in the future. But we are in the situation we are right now, and we still have a number 2 pick in the stable. So we're going to use that number 2 pick, regardless of whether or not that number 2 pick, his eyes are worse than deers as it pertains to being in the headlights. No, Zach Wilson is not the guy, but coaching is not the decision-making on this. This is a ownership level decision where Johnson & Johnson is making the decisions. So look for the Jets to continue to be frustrated offensively, and Garrett Wilson trying to coach Zach Wilson in real time during a game. Dude, I'm going this way. Throw the ball over here. Just throw the ball. I'll go get it in real time. And then the defense trying to do everything that they can to make this team competitive. The beatdown in Dallas, that was just a beatdown. That was their one-off, right? But the Jets have a good enough defense that can keep them competitive for the playoffs. They're not going to be the 85 Bears like they told that lie at the beginning of the season. They're not going to be the 2000 Ravens like they didn't even give them the proper respect. They're not going to be like the steel curtain of the 70s. They're not going to even be like the 2022 Jets. That was a pretty good defense. I don't know if they're going to be as good as last year's defense. You know, that's like, you know, Bart Scott saying can't wait and actually showing up to beat Pittsburgh the following week. But that's another story. Whatever. I'm just saying. The Jets need to go out and get a quarterback and stop lying to themselves. Zach is not your guy. That's all I'm going to say about that.
All righty, then. Keep it moving. Hey, man, that go to Raiders. That ain't go.
Let's keep it moving. Troy, you are the guy.
We the guy.
Let's talk about your Raiders. R-A-I-D-E-S.
We done got to the favorite part.
That would be a game. That would be a game, Troy. Let's not see. So the Raiders and the Steelers, we both picked the Steelers to win this game because we both thought and think that the Steelers are a better team than the Raiders are currently. And Sunday night proved that. The end result was not a surprise. The type of game that was played was not a surprise because these are two rivals that date back to the early 70s. And these two teams do not like each other. And you have a coach who is a pillar of excellence on one side and a coach who has yet to proven himself to be a legitimate head coach on the opposite side. So you could have kind of have predicted the end result. Do you think the Raiders, to give Troy some Raider love, do you think the Raiders have a legitimate shot this year to be better than 500 or 9-8?
No, I'm gonna go with what Scott just said. I'm gonna go with what Scott just said, man. The Raiders gonna probably win 4 games this year. That's it. So Troy, go ahead and buckle in, baby. It's gonna be a long season.
Oh man, no,
hey,
man,
because for real, Drew,
poo-pooed on him, bro.
Drew, for real though, man. Because I'm gonna tell you right now, this is gonna be Josh Daniels last year. Because you know how the Davis family like to do. They always like to blame it on something. It don't never be on the Davis family. It's gonna be on it. So this will be Josh Daniels last year. But I personally don't see the Raiders hitting 500 this year. Me personally, not with Jimmy G. I'm sorry. Because Jimmy G gonna always keep the other team in the game. He gonna keep the other team in the game. They talk about my Dak, but I know Jimmy G gonna keep the other team in the game. Hey, now look, man, that Troy wants some sympathy. Now talking about it's been.
Hey, no, I'm gonna give the Raiders some love. That is saying a lot, man. You have Josh Jacobs there, who is a tough running back.
Love him.
He has been proven. You have one of the top 2 wide receivers right there in Devontae Adams, and Jimmy G, for the lack of oomph, the lack of closeout, the lack of breakout speed that you would expect and you would desire, is a statistical winner in the NFL as it pertains to winning games. If Jimmy G can stay healthy, and you have Josh Jacobs and you have Devontae Adams and you have those complementary pieces on that offense can be competitive. Because as terrible of a head coach as McDaniel is, he is a okay or above average offensive coordinator, and he can call some plays to get his teams in situations to be competitive. The defense,
look, man, you could put all the seasoning you want on it, bro.
No, the
could put
Ravens
all
have
the
to be healthy, and they could possibly get to a 9-8. That's being generous if they stay healthy the entire season. So Troy,
I'm saying this,
y'all might
Drew.
be all right.
I'm saying this with a straight face, man. You could put all the seasoning you want on it, and I love Troy, but it ain't gonna happen. They will be below 500. You hearing it right here? It's an all exclusive right here, right tonight. Josh Daniels, he might get fired before the end of this season. I promise you that. So,
yeah. Before we move on, Troy, I saw your comment. Jimmy G is in a concussion protocol, so yeah, that is already tanking. So yeah, Griff might be right, man. Y'all might be competing for a new starting quarterback next year called Caleb Williams or Shadur Sanders. You just never know.
Shadur ain't leaving, man. Shadur ain't leaving. His dad already said he ain't going.
Yeah. So let's on to the next. All right, this is another game that we don't really need to talk about because we both picked Philadelphia. I'm just showing them some love because it was on Monday night. The end result was expected. Tampa Bay's starting quarterback has at this point proven that he is not really worthy of a starting job, but you go with what you got, as they would say. Baker Mayfield, it simply is not a threat to be consistent enough to make that team competitive in the NFC South. That's just my humble opinion. The Philadelphia Eagles, they're still on track. They're still on track. We'll see.
You know what though? They still struggle a little bit inside the red zone themselves. And I know that boss. But what I did like last night, because I love seeing running, daggone Swift, man. That joker, he shot Tampa Bay up last night. I think Swift had over 150 yards rushing, bro. He was all Jalen threw 2 picks last night, but still, yeah. I'll leave it at that, But you see how Baker Mayfield still got a job. Zach Wilson gonna be the exact same way. Yeah, he'll get another. He'll be gone from here and get another job.
Let's get us a mid-show laugh. Hey, Jordan, bring up Harold's comment at 8:42. I don't even want to read it. I want everybody to read it at the same time.
Man, he's Harold probably talking about my Cowboy.
No, because this guy's my guy too, man. Hurry up, Jordan. Hurry up. Either way, he asked what happened to Jeff Saturday. Why has Jeff Saturday come back on ESPN? Why is he no longer with the Colts? Because we knew Jeff Saturday was not going to be with the Colts very long, man. Come on. We knew that was a weekend hire. That's all.
Yeah, man.
His former boss wanted to give him a little bit of love. He wanted to get his feet wet. He knew he was coming back to ESPN this year. So he's not hurt. He's right back on the set talking about pancakes in the morning. Man, come on. Yeah. That's all the indie love we're going to talk about this year, too. So on to the next. The Steelers, like we said, it was good. And we close it out with the Bengals and the Rams, man. Again, no, we both did not pick this game because I had the foresight to know that Joe Burrow and Jamar Chase was going to eventually get on track. That team at home in front of that crowd, even with a 80% Joe Burrow, is better than, nothing. And even though Aaron Donald was on the opposite side, I knew that they were going to put all of their chips in to make sure that this kid did not get hurt on national television on Monday night because of our ineptitude on the offensive line. They did their jobs. Aaron Donald got pressure, but Cincinnati got a hard-fought victory, man. So I give them credit for that. I welcome Joe Burrow and Jamar Chase to the 2023 season. Glad to see you guys, and hopefully you are competitive for your division if Baltimore don't blow it. But back to last night's game, man. What happened to the La show?
Bro, I'm gonna be honest, man. Again, the Rams, man, they got a lot of issues on that offensive side of the ball, man. They at the defensive wise, we already know what they got with Aaron Donald and stuff like that. But Cooper Kupp is gone, and Stafford just don't have nobody over there on that side. He don't have nobody in the running game. The receivers is playing by committee. I still, even though the Bengals won last night, I still expect more from them. Jamar Chase did show up last night. And a lot of that probably had to do with, hey, look, y'all need to get me the daggone ball. because he has not been here. Because I got both of them guys. I got Joe Burrow and I got Jamar Chase on my fantasy football, and they haven't done anything for me. And so I mean, they was at home. You got to win at home, man, in front of that crowd, who they crowd and all the other stuff. But it should have been. They not looking like the Bengals that we thought the Bengals were supposed to be this year. The team that's supposed to represent the AFC in the Super Bowl. That's what we predicted in the beginning of the season. That's what was going to represent. They still don't look like that team to me.
No, you're absolutely right. But again, we're expecting December of Cincinnati and December every other team, and we forget that we still in week 3. We still in early September, or we still in early football. Because again, nobody plays in a preseason. But we're going to increase the regular season games. We're going to increase the regular season games come next year, right, to 18 games, if I'm not mistaken. And like new collective bargaining agreement, because everybody get more money.
Let me ask you this quick question, Drew. Do you think a lot of these early season injuries we got right now, with a lot of players contribute to not playing as many games in the preseason and getting the body prepared?
Absolutely, sir. Absolutely.
A lot of injuries out there, man.
There is nothing that prepares your body for durability than repetitiveness, which means you have to show up and do practice, not the game. Practice. You actually have to.
We're talking about practice, man. We talking about practice, man. We talking about practice.
We talking about practice, baby. You know, AI gonna always talk about practice. No, but seriously, it does contribute. I got it. You got to protect the product, right? Because the product is not making you real money in the preseason. The product is making you real money when the records actually count. So it is a balancing act. But if you're gonna train, make sure that you're training properly, not doing walkthroughs, just learning plays while you're faking training camp. Actually put some work in. That's why you see less injuries on tough-minded coaches. That's why you see less injuries. Teams like Pittsburgh, teams like New England. You see less of those season-ending injuries to key players because you put that work in during the week. You put it in during practice. You're not special. Excellent question. Excellent question, man.
Okay.
Hey, again, crazy weekend in the NFL.
Yeah.
And it just goes to show that if you don't show up, you're going to get you knocked at, right? So it's best that if you are a team who is expected to come out with a W, that you put your work in throughout the week, regardless of who you're facing. Fred, the Cowboys, are a perfect example of that. So last plug for the NFL. Man, another weekend in the NCAA that I want to talk about. We had some very good games, man. We got some very exciting games by some key teams that I want to run through real quick before we close out the show, because we got about 10 minutes left before the top of the hour. And Florida State, I want to open up with the Florida State Clemson game. Went down to Clemson and had not beaten Clemson in, 10 years, since 2013, since Jameis Winston took him down there as a freshman and beat him. And their mantra this week was, if you want to beat a man, you got to beat the man. And Clemson has been the man. Clemson is on a downward spiral in both of our opinions because of recruiting, the coach's inability to wrap his head around the transfer portal, and talent being going elsewhere. But they did what they were supposed to do against Florida State, who is supposed to be one of the top 3 or 4 teams in the country this weekend. Were you surprised by Clemson's ability to almost win this game, or
I was
a little suspect, or Florida State's offense?
No, I was truly surprised. I was surprised with the quarterback play. I was surprised really with everything Clemson did. I really didn't think it was even going to be a close game. I know what the Seminoles have, and they do have a good team. But Dabo, his team surprised me. Now everybody beat the kicker up because the kicker didn't make that one field goal or whatever, man. But people don't realize that kicker was sitting at home getting ready to go work a new job this week. He still had 1 year left for eligibility. And you know what? That's another one of those things I say. People They like you as long as you're doing good. Because he made his first field goal, and everybody like, oh, this is gonna be, like a center. And then the minute that Joker didn't make that one, they chopped them up, man. But Clemson played a much better game than I expected.
Yeah, no, you're absolutely correct. You're absolutely correct. It was an eye opener for Florida State to let them know that, okay, we still have to put that work in, even though that everybody else has us up here. But they knew going in that Clemson was at the top of that mountain that they were trying to get to. So having the fortitude, the personal fortitude to go into Clemson, which what they consider the hostile environment, the real Death Valley's little brother or imitation that they have down there in Clemson, and come out with a W, no matter how we did it, is a win for us because it gives us a 2-game lead on Clemson in the conference, and that's the number one objective, is winning the conference, and everything else comes later. So they did that. And it does not hurt them nationally. It does actually help Clemson a little bit nationally by keeping that game competitive, like you said. And the kicker got it, man. Same thing happened with the Saints this weekend. They're going to miss kicks. Justin Tucker, the best ever, literally the best kicker ever, missed a kick to win the game because it fell that much short right down the middle. So kickers, laces out, need to get that love too. So I'm not mad at it. I'm not mad at it, man. So it's going to happen. It's good. It's going to propel Florida State. Next game, man. Let's jump to the next game. I want to talk about this one because I actually picked the home team to lose this one, and I have to eat my words here. The Alabama-Ole Miss game, man. I picked Alabama to give up a lot of points on our defense. I thought Lane Kiffin had a game plan that was going to come in there and cause Nick Spurrier. Nick Spurrier.
Boy, you put two legendary coaches in one.
Just put them together, man. Just put them together. Nick Saban to be running up and down the sideline, screaming at his headset, slamming it down. But nah, St. Nick had his plans together, and your guy Milroe showed up, right? And Lane Kiffin got smacked around.
Bro, all I say about this game, because I do want to get to the other games, is the defense played this week. That was the difference. I don't want to take nothing from Milroe. Milroe definitely played this week, but they allowed Milroe to be Milroe too. They didn't try to make you notice he was running a lot more this week. They had designed quarterback runs and stuff this week than they had when we played against Texas. He still made he threw an interception in the end zone, but he also had two touchdowns. But the difference in this game was actually the defense of Alabama. That's probably the best they looked all season.
Yeah. I agree. I'm not going to even continue on with this game. You're right. I want to get to the next ones. I know we have Colorado and Oregon now, but I want to actually save that for the very end. So jump to the Notre Dame, Ohio State game, and then we'll close out with Colorado.
Man, Notre Dame let me down, man.
Notre Dame let us down. Notre Dame let us down. On the a game of inches.
Coaching, bro.
This is literally made for Hollywood stuff, bro.
How you
up on the last play of the game?
How you not know that you don't have? How you not know that you don't have all you don't have 11 players on the field, bro? That's all I'm saying. How that's coaching. Tell me.
And the play ran right where that gap was, that 11th player, right? That was the football gods, as they say, Notre Dame down Jesus, slapping y'all down, right? Because y'all jacked that one up completely on defense. So, I usually come down on Ohio State. All I'll say is that congratulations, but your schedule hasn't started yet. All right, let's move on to unless you have something that you really want to say about them.
No, I'm good. Okay. I already said it.
Colorado, Oregon game. I got some comments that I would like to share about the Colorado-Oregon game. First and foremost, let me begin by saying that Oregon was predicted to win by 21 points. Oregon won by 36 points. So they overperformed and proved that they have one of the best offenses in college football. So I give the team of Oregon kudos for doing your job. But you do not get special treatment. And I'm talking specifically to the head coach, who had the unmitigated gall, the audacity to try to level personal attacks against someone who is not only far more accomplished than you professionally, but far more accomplished than you personally, both on and off the football field. Your credibility has nothing to do with your winning, but more to do with Phil Knight's money coming from Nike, pouring millions into that team, having 59 different uniform schemes that you display every Sunday or Saturday, and you have the audacity, the nerve to say that somebody is doing it for clicks. Your uniforms are clicks, bro. Your uniforms are clicks. Your entire organization is nothing but clicks. The only time you're on Sports Center is probably to display Phil Knight's uniform selection for that particular week. You still have to win. You haven't won anything. Last time I checked, I didn't see any natties sitting in your office. So it would behoove you to stop hanging on the coattails of a football living legend and try to build your resume up by actually getting a natty or a conference title. Where's yours? That's all I got to say. Congratulations to the team, though, for winning the game. They still got work to do. For Colorado, before I throw it over to you, it shows that they are a team that is still on the rise. They were expected to lose. They underperformed. They got slapped in the face. It was a good wake-up call, whatever reference you want to throw at it, but Colorado is still on track, and they still are going to be an 8-9 win team this season. So, as Dion said, get me now because the train is coming. That's all I got to say, bro.
Yeah, man. Look, man. First of all, I'm gonna say this, bro. When that comment was made by the Oregon coach about they doing it for clicks, I mean, he had to expect that he was gonna get clicks for saying it because the minute he said it, it went out everywhere. So Dion done changed the landscape of college football. As much as jokers don't want to admit it, you know, Oregon Stadium probably wouldn't have been sold out if Colorado Buffaloes didn't come up there and play. And that's gonna be like in every game that Colorado gonna pay because people want to go see Dion as much as they don't want to say it. My grandfather always said, if you ain't got nobody hating on you, then probably you doing something wrong. And he doing something right now. Yes, did they lose? Yeah, they lost. Like you said, it was predicted that they was gonna lose by 21 points. But what kills me about the media is that they talking about the Cinderella season is over. This team only won one game last year, and they now already won 3. So to sit up there and chop that guy up, it's all right. It comes with the territory. Matter of fact, like I said, Dion is the right person to be in that position because he don't even listen to what none of these guys got to say in the first place. All these people, they're gonna come and go, but it's one person that we always gonna remember, and that's Coach Prime, man. I like I said before, give him 2 years. That's what I said, 2 years. And hey, Oregon gonna wish they had never talked about Colorado. And I'm gonna leave it at that because I can go on and on talking about it. We down about 1 minute left, so I know we're not gonna get into the other stuff, but that's how I feel about that, Drew. They're gonna be really scary here. They're gonna be really scary here in 2 years.
You keep saying they're going to be. They already are. Because
but let me say this. When I say going to be, he gonna have those dogs that because he didn't already said it himself. I mean, he got the key positions. It's the big boys. Give him when he get them big boys over there to complement everything else he got. It's really gonna be scary. You're right. I don't want to say that they not good now. They definitely good right now. Way better than what everybody said they was gonna be. They was just supposed to be hype, and but they've been on everything. They've been on ESPN. The game they didn't came there. You say what you want, man. They there, but they just give them 2 years.
Yeah. No, a couple of things before we close it out. Right. Harold mentioned that Oregon was getting assistance by other universities, other head coaches, not only around the conference, but around the country, giving them intel on the tendencies of the Colorado Buffaloes, the tendencies of Shador, the tendencies of key players. So you're already scared. It requires a village of thievery. It requires a village of cheating for y'all to pile on this man to try to stop that train. You know it's coming, right? He said we're here. The train is still coming. And I think it was Troy that mentioned they're going to get blown out again this weekend against USC. This is going to be a competitive game. Trust and believe.
USC don't have no defense.
Is coming in and is going to be the favorite. It's again going to be a nationally televised game. College Game Day or Fox Game Day is going to be there, right there in Colorado at 12 o'clock or 10 o'clock Saturday morning. So the media train is going to continue. The hype train is going to continue. The talent is going to continue to perform. And Coach Prime is going to continue to be in your face with his bravado, with his honesty, with his confidence, right? Why does his confidence make you so scared? Coach from Oregon, since you're not doing it for clicks. Anyways, thank y'all for joining us on another fire episode tonight. We look forward to Friday night's episode as we dive into these upcoming weekend's games, both in the NCAA and the NFL. Please continue to support the podcast by clicking like, follow, share, comment, and make sure on Friday night you submit your predictions for this weekend's games. The king is here, right? I'm still wearing a crown as comes prediction. Troy, you might have an opportunity to catch Griff. Fred, you might have an opportunity, and all of the rest of the fellas and the ladies. But make sure y'all tune in Friday night. Griff, Jordan,
hey man,
family,
look man, hey, I just want to tell everybody again, man, like Drew already said, man, hey, I love y'all too, Troy, and I appreciate y'all for showing up every week, checking us out, just giving us a small amount of y'all time. And again, keep on coming, keep on watching, keep on giving me your comments, and whatever feedback y'all can give us, man, we always here to take it, man. We just want to talk football, have fun, and share the love. So I appreciate y'all, and until Friday, man, 8 o'clock Eastern Standard Time, same bat time, same bat channel. I'll see y'all then. Thank you.